Hey, Armin here. Welcome to the NSP Nutrition Show, where we cover training, nutrition, supplementation strategies, and a whole lot more. So stand by. Hey, and welcome to the NSP Nutrition Show. I'm Armin Eckelbarger.
Hey, I'm Frank Mills. Welcome to the show. Whether you're watching or listening, we appreciate that you are doing so. And Armin's got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about the benefits of collagen. And this is a pretty interesting subject, so I'm looking forward to that. And in the second half of the show, we'll be getting into more fan questions, and we've got some good ones today. So stand by for that. All right, so Armin, the benefits of collagen. Sounds interesting. My first thought was, how important is it that we take collagen?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. What's important for a lot of reasons, and we're going to get into that as well. I was
Okay.
actually surprised by the research I learned on it too. So it should be good information for everybody.
Okay. So why don't we start with just what is collagen? Because a lot of people probably don't know.
Yeah, good point. All right, so it's a protein in the body. Now, there's different types of collagens, and they're affecting in many body parts. So, including you have collagen for hair, you have collagen for skin, bones, ligaments,
Hmm.
tendons, cartilage, blood vessels, and the intestines. So it's involved with a lot of the body, and
Okay.
so that's why it's important to understand if it's decreasing and it's not, your body's not making enough of it, what some of the impacts are.
Okay.
So
Okay. So what exactly does collagen do for your body? Because, a lot of people are probably wondering that as well.
yeah, if you're not familiar with it, it's one of the most abundant proteins in the body.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's like a fiber-like structure, and it's used to make connective tissue. So that's another
Okay.
purpose of it. And like the name implies, it's the type of tissue that connects other tissues, so it makes it nice and sticky. And it's a major component of bone, the muscles,
Hmm.
tendons, and cartilage, like we mentioned before. So there's a lot to it.
So you said fiber-like. I'm curious, exactly what is collagen made of?
So it's actually a pretty simple structure, but it's three key amino acids that make it up.
Hmm.
You have glycine, you have proline, and you have hydroxyproline. Those are the three amino acids that form collagen, based on the research I've done. So I mean, it's not a lot involved, but that's the key components to it.
So if collagen is a protein, can I assume that there are certain foods that are protein that have higher protein, or are there certain foods that have higher collagen, I guess, is what I'm asking?
Well, I mean, basically, yes for both answers. I mean,
Uh-huh.
protein-rich foods like meat, eggs, fish, seafood, beans, and dairy all supply a good amount of collagen to your body, which is good news because that means you're getting some,
Okay.
because they have the range of amino acids, like we talked about, that are needed to help the
Okay.
body make collagen. So again, you need those three key amino acids that we mentioned before. So
Okay. Okay. So since now we understand more about collagen, okay, and we know what it is, what are actually the benefits of taking it? Because if we're getting it, eating it,
yeah.
that's why I was going to ask that. So what are the benefits if you supplement?
So, and we're going to talk about other components of the supplementation, but
Mm-hmm.
the studies are showing that daily supplementing of collagen can help with your bones, keeping them denser, so you don't lose that bone density, the bone mass,
Okay.
and then slowing the aging process, which we've talked on
Mm.
about some of the benefits of that, because the bones, if they age, they're going to become brittle, and that's not going to help because you're more subject to fractures. And it also just helps your body to produce new bones. So that's another key thing that it's a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
It's also shown to help increase muscle, which everybody's looking for that, I think, that we're talking to,
Hmm.
prevent bone loss. And also another thing that they've also seen from it, it does help release some joint pain, which that's a
Hmm.
benefit too.
Okay.
Now, the oral collagen supplements, have been shown to really improve the skin hydration and the
Hmm.
elasticity of older people. So they've been noticing this since they've been researching it. So there are some things that there's some studies that feel like it may help lessen the wrinkles as well. So, when you're wanting to keep the skin from, as we age, what happens? It gets thinner, okay, because you're losing collagen over time. And so the more you keep collagen in your system, the less you see your skin thin out. And you notice that with people as they get older, as they are making less. And so that's another key reason why you want to supplement
Hmm. Okay. Well,
it.
that all sounds good. I guess my next question I'm kind of curious about is there a certain age you should start taking it? Is there an age range, or does it depend on the person?
Well, yeah, there's different suggestions, so to speak, as far as when
Hmm.
you should start taking it. But technically, you can begin, as early as you're 20 to 25 years of age,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
that's more of a preventative, because you always, if you keep playing with college in your system, then you're not going to lose much of it. So
Okay.
that'd be more of a preventative. But then as you're aging, as you see your skin getting thinner, which I've kind of noticed that myself, then that's also a good time to start taking collagen because obviously your body's not making enough of it. So supplementing can help that. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, if you start young, you're going to slow down depletion of it, which is going to be the key thing to do there. So, in a lot of regards, what they're saying is the better you start it to keep your collagen levels consistent, the better you're going to be. But again, these are just different suggestions that are out there regarding collagen supplementation.
Okay. Okay. Um, how often should you take these supplements?
So, you can, because your body's using the stuff all the time, you can use it. You
Hmm.
can take it every day.
Oh,
And
okay.
again, if you're taking daily collagen, the other thing is you're going to depend on is your budget because it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. So if you're going to be taking it every day, you got to make that part of your grocery bill, so to
Gotcha.
speak, as you're budgeting it. But also remember, when you're eating food, you're getting good sources of collagen. So you want to kind of experiment a little bit with the dosages, and there's a lot of ranges on those, which we'll be getting into as we continue. So
Okay. When should somebody take collagen,
yeah.
Armin? I mean, is there a timetable that maybe they should focus on?
Well, again, this is another one that has a couple different opinions. So,
Okay.
you kind of just experiment with yourself. And one opinion is you should take it in the morning on empty stomach. So,
Okay.
get in your system, you get those amino acids breaking down. The other is to take it at night. Um, and this is what I do. I take it before I go to bed. So
Okay.
now the reason for that is, what I was reading is, it is high in glycine, and glycine is good to help with sleep. So to me, it's like, okay,
Oh.
I'm still working on my sleep to get it better. So I'm like, I'm going to take the collagen before I go to bed and then see if it improves my sleep. And I have noticed a little bit of difference. I mean, this is nothing that's going to be, you know, shocking or overnight or anything like that. Everything's going to be very subtle
Hmm.
when you're
Okay.
taking this. So, but I can't, I'm not going to say here one's better than the other. I'm going that route. My wife actually does hers in the morning, first thing, so you go figure. And everything I do,
Right.
she's going to do the opposite.
Well, on your dosage, is there a certain amount that you should take? How much should you take?
Yeah, that's another moving target here
Oh,
when
okay.
you start
Okay.
looking that up. So, some of the studies are recommending between 2.5 to 15 grams of collagen, which is daily, which is a pretty broad range there to get the health benefits. And
Okay.
then you got other recommendations, and they're recommending 20 to 40 grams
Oh,
uh, per day. Now,
okay.
that seems like a lot to me. So, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Meat typically contains 2 to 3 grams. So when you're eating meat, you're going to get those three key amino acids that we're talking about
Right, right.
per serving. So another reason to kind of keep your protein intake more consistent and high. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the amino acids to help make muscle tissue, but also help you to create collagen for keeping the skin and other components of the body functioning at a high level.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Now, it just on a side note here, if you take too much collagen, any side effects or any kind of health problems if you do that?
They've said no at this point. So
Okay.
I mean, obviously your body knows what to do with it. I'm sure with anything, if you take way too much, there probably something's going to pop
Right.
up. But they haven't
Right.
seen anything. I mean, you're talking 40 grams of collagen.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a lot.
obviously they've shown the studies that that's still okay. So I really, really doubt you're going to be overdosing when you're taking collagen. I mean, unless you're taking the whole container of it,
Right,
if you're
right.
supplementing it,
You would have
I
to
mean,
take
that
a
kind of
lot.
stuff.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned taking collagen, and this is the NSP Nutrition Show. So I
Yeah.
assume that you're talking about NSP Collagen Complete.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So with that product, I have it right here actually. See if we can
Oh,
see if I can get it to the screen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
college are complete. So I just started taking it. So I've been experimenting with it because that's what I do. I always
Right.
experiment with everything that's out there. But it's a new product NSP brought on. And
Hmm.
so one serving of this, which is 3 capsules, contains 1,500 milligrams, which is 1.5 grams of collagen. But the nice thing with the formulation is it contains, 5 different sources of collagen. So
Okay.
you have beef collagen, you've got chicken collagen, you have marine collagen, eggs which have collagen, etc. And so I just take the 3 capsules before bed, like I mentioned above before.
Have you slept better because of it? Yeah, I'm just curious.
I'm experimenting with my sleep, so I don't think it's hurt me any, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's been huge on that. But at the same
Okay.
time, you know, I yeah, I'm not taking a huge amount. I'm just taking the
Right.
1,500 milligrams. So, you could double up on it and take 6 capsules.
Hmm.
Again, this is a budgetary decision.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
just playing with the recommended dose to
Right.
see how it affects me. My
Gotcha.
wife seems to like how it works for her.
Hmm. Okay.
So, and again, placebo is also another factor that comes into play with all these different things you do. But at the end of the day, the science is showing that it is good to have as much as you can, to keep a good amount of it coming into your system daily, so you keep it replenished.
Gotcha. Well, a lot of great information on collagen, and everybody should check out the NSP. Gosh, it's right there on the website. So,
Uh,
try it out.
uh,
Okay. Well, Armin, we're running out of time. What do you have for us to wrap up?
so I would just say, like, if you're eating a lot of protein, then you're getting collagen, which is great. And so a lot of people don't realize that, but they are.
Hmm.
So don't feel like you need to supplement a ton. Okay, it's just kind of experiment with it. Again, anything you can do in moderation can go a long way, because it's also, you have a budget you're dealing with when you're trying to supplement with stuff. So I would just say start with a normal dosage and then see how it's working. You can always experiment with more, obviously.
Hmm.
But when you're buying it, you got to look at the sources of where the collagen's coming from. Okay, so you make sure you're getting a mix of the different types mentioned, because that's what
Hmm.
they've shown is you want that whole mix.
Right.
The
Right.
marine collagen, the chicken collagen, etc. And finally, many of the studies are suggesting that, if you're able to notice, we see improvements, uh, which would be in the skin elasticity, the skin kind of tightening up, and hydration, and the skin density. It's going to take about 6 to 12 weeks before you're going to notice that. So, good
Hmm.
thing to do there would be take a picture, kind of close up of the upper body and lower body, maybe two different pictures, and then 6 to 12 weeks later, maybe do 6 weeks, see if you notice much, and then 12 weeks later, see if you notice much. Take some pictures and then see how you feel like your supplementation may be working. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
so keep that in mind
Well,
when you're supplementing.
that's good stuff. So, hey, everyone, if this applies to you, you could check out nspnutrition.com and get your collagen supplementation here
Yeah.
on the website. So, Armin, a lot of great information. Thanks so much. We'll take
Yeah.
a quick break. Armin and I will be right back. Stand by for a quick word from NSP Nutrition.
Hey, and welcome back to the NSP Nutrition Show. I'm Armin Eckelbarger.
I'm Frank Mills, and we appreciate you watching or listening, whatever you're doing. And before we start into the fan questions, everybody make sure you check out nspnutrition.com. We've got a lot of great pricing for the holidays, so get your
Yeah.
new supplements for yourself, for your friend, for your significant other, whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
introduce them to some high quality, all natural supplements. All right. That being said, Armin, fan questions. Are you ready?
As far as I know, we'll see how
Okay.
this
Okay.
goes.
All right. We got a question on YouTube. Armin, how many sets and reps per body part in full body workout, 3 days a week workout?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of variables there.
Mm-hmm.
So most of it's going to depend on your time. I don't like to train more than, 45 minutes.
Right.
So,
Right.
for me, that would entail, to hit the whole body, which is also another challenge, so to speak, that depending on, your development and stuff and how you are developing. I like to do about 11 or 12 exercises is what I would use in a full body routine.
Mm-hmm.
And so the rep schemes are going to kind of vary. Like, again, the legs, I like to do the 12 to 20 rep scheme.
Mm-hmm.
The back, I like to do the 8 to 12 rep scheme. And I like to go to failure on all these. And then for everything else, upper body outside the back is 6 to 10 reps. And you can go 12 if you want. But I like 6 to 10 for like the chest, the shoulders, and the arms. So I just feel like with maximum weight, because of where it's located, you can fatigue that muscle pretty well at that rep scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as sets, I would probably experiment to make sure I'm staying within that 45-minute window. So I would probably start out with 2 sets, and then as you get more conditioned and you can take really short rest periods, maybe see if you can get 3 sets in and see how you respond. So that
Right.
would
Right.
be the approach I would take. Again, just focusing on getting as much work done or as much volume done in that 45-minute window. The key is with a full body workout is getting enough to impact each of those muscle groups thoroughly. And that's where the challenge usually becomes.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's one question. Another one from Marty. Marty says, Armin, a couple years ago, I started drinking energy drinks
Mm,
and have one before my workout, and I have felt it had helped me quite a bit.
yeah, they can.
However, recently I found out that a couple of the energy drinks I've been drinking aren't very good for me. I wasn't very educated on what to look out for.
Mm,
And he mentions a couple of brands that I won't mention because we don't want to get
okay.
in trouble.
All
But
right.
he said, can you recommend some energy drinks? First of all, Armin, do you use energy drinks? And secondly, if you do, can you recommend some to me that will not be bad for me, is what he's asking.
Yeah, I mean, I've experimented with a lot of them. What I look for is different chemicals I don't want to have in the energy drink. But for me, number one energy drink, which is real simple, is coffee.
There
The
you
other
go.
one's the other one's espresso. I really like espresso,
Okay.
especially right before. But if you want to do like a canned energy drink, I
Mm-hmm.
think Celsius has one of the better combinations of the B vitamins, and it's 200 milligrams of caffeine,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not going over the top. So I kind of like that one. If I'm going to buy one, I'm going to have it before I train. I feel like that works
Mm-hmm.
pretty good for me. And there's the thing I'm looking for is I don't want to have aspartame as part of my energy drink. So when these
Mm-hmm.
drinks that have that, I avoid those. So I'm looking for sucralose or one of the other stevia, those type of sweeteners
Mm-hmm.
for energy drink for me because I don't want to eat sugar in
Right.
my energy
Right.
drink. So because a lot of them have that, and I don't feel that's good before you train because you got insulin
Hmm.
cranking up, which is, looking to, it's going to get in the way of the receptor sites of the cells when your other hormones kick in and start doing their thing. So, and again, that's just my viewpoint on it. So,
Okay.
yeah, hopefully that helps.
Okay. Next question is from John Panozzo. He's commented quite a bit, and John, we thank you for all your
Mm,
comments and questions. This is a while back. He said, Armin, in one of the videos that you had, you said a couple times that some of the ingested protein is converted to glucose.
yeah.
I understood that glucogenesis only occurred when the body needed glucose because glycogen stores of the liver and muscular were empty. Uh, so he was kind of curious if those comments were along the same line, if he's on the right track. He felt it was much easier for the body to convert glycogen into glucose than it is to convert protein into glucose. What do you think?
Well, based on Dr. Gabriel Lyon,
Mm-hmm.
Lyon, uh, she says, which she's a very good knowledgeable source, that 50 to 60% of the glucose you ingest, regardless, is going to or not glucose, but protein that you ingest, will 50 to 60% of it will convert to glucose.
Hmm.
And that's why I made that statement, which is, pretty shocking type of statement.
Right,
But as
right.
you break down the amino acids, the body can only use so much protein as it breaks down. So as it's doing that, it's going to take what excess there is and stores as glycogen. The amino acids convert to glucose. So neogluconeogenesis can happen a lot of different ways. It can also happen from not having enough protein. And if you're doing a high carb diet and you run out of glucose, then protein will be created by breaking down muscle to create glucose. That's another reason. That's what typically happens with neoglucogenesis, from what I understand. And
Okay.
this could be a really debatable thing, but I also don't disagree with Dr. Gabriel Lyon about the conversion of it. Because if
Right,
you look at
right.
if you look how Vince trained back in the day, he was having hardly any carbohydrates, period, and he was getting lean and still keeping muscle on. So his energy had to come from the protein being converted to glucose. So they do say carbohydrate spares protein kind of thing, but how much though? So there's a question. And then when you're breaking down excess protein, you don't really store protein per se. So what you're at to store is the amino acids, but there's too many of them. The body has a process of converting it to glucose to store it that way. So this is probably a good debatable one, but that's I'm standing by my understanding is if I'm going to eat protein, a chunk of it's going to be converted to glucose at some point as I'm digesting it. So,
Gotcha. All right,
uh,
John. Well, hey, I thought that one might sidetrack Armin. Armin's all over that. So it's really good, Armin. Great job. We got two questions that are kind of similar. So I'm going to put them together. One is from Andy Shelton. And Andy says, excuse me, not Andy Shelton. You got to be a freak is his handle on
okay,
YouTube. Uh,
okay.
he asked if we're going to talk more about the hormone precursor diet, and I don't think we did a show on that yet, right?
Well, yeah, we did do something on that. We covered the yeah, I did it. Well, it wasn't a complete show. It was just
Yeah,
another
but we talked
segment. It was
about it,
part of
right?
the nutrition segment that we did in one of the shows. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. And the other question is from Michael. Michael's
Okay.
in Maine, and that's all. Michael in Maine.
Okay.
Michael says, holiday season, he gets a lot of like Hickory Farms. Uh, he gets like a lot of that kind of stuff. And he watched the show that we had on processed food that you had brought up some
Yeah.
comments about processed food.
Yeah. Meats as well. Yeah.
Right. So Michael is like, I thought that Boar's Head and all these brands out there were meat is meat. And
Mm-mm.
I didn't understand processed food and how to determine. So, do you have a rule of thumb on how you determine what is or what is not processed food? Because with the marketing, they fool me and I end up eating it. So,
Well, I was in the same bucket as himself. I mean, I thought, well, it meets meat, but here's the thing: if it comes in a box or a bag or has a barcode, probably not going to be too good for you. So kind of go with that. Okay.
okay.
So when you start understanding how they make this Boar's Head and these other companies that are so high quality make
Mm-hmm.
these meats, you're not going to be real excited about learning about meat glue, nitrates, nitrites. You got all these other things that
Right.
are added in there. It's just not good for you. So,
Right.
I mean, if you had to eat it in an emergency one time, you know, like, okay, probably no big deal. But the thing is everybody's eating it every day or every other day or multiple times a week and sometimes two times a day. So the point of the matter is it's not good quality food. So if you want to get the best return for your hard work, eat good quality food and you'll get better results. And that's not any Vince preached, use real food. Don't be eating all the crap.
Right.
Kind of a
Right.
no-brainer. But yeah, hopefully that
Well,
gives him some ideas. Don't eat that.
well, a lot of people are. You had a friend of mine ask me the other day. He goes, why are so many people getting cancer and dying
There
of
you go.
cancer? And I
Uh,
said, it's what we're eating. I mean, if you eat things with chemicals in it, what do you think that does to your body? I mean, uh,
well, that's one reason it's happening. The other is, cancer is caused from, cells that are senescent, they're not performing well, or cells that are, slowly dying. But then one of them starts to replicate, and then it's a damaged cell that's replicating, and that's what starts causing the cancer. So that's my
hmm
understanding of it. So, fasting, in my opinion, and based on what I've read, can be a really good help to help clear out those underperforming cells because when you fast, the body cannibalizes those cells. And
hmm
also, fasting can help generate stem cells. So I think staying away from processed food and stuff that's man made as much as possible, and then doing some fasting, I think that's what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I won't get cancer, but I feel
right,
like I'm
right,
I'm moving in a direction to minimize the possibility of getting it. So that's how I
right.
would approach it.
And that's
So
what I mean. That's the object of the show is to help you stay
yeah,
as healthy and be in shape and educate as much as we can. And Armin, another great show. Um, we need your content. We need your questions, your
yeah.
topics, anything that you would like Armin and I to discuss or answer a question for. Please contact us with the QR codes above our heads. You can comment on YouTube or you can email at support at nspnutrition.com. And Armin, another great show, man. Thanks so much.
Well, hope everybody got some takeaways on it.
I'm sure they will. And you can join us again here next week for a brand new episode of the NSP Nutrition Show.